My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. That is, to me, part of the many, many, many mysteries in the Bible. Diba? Parang, how do you have three gods in one? Diba? And so many, many things that we have to think about sa Bible. And there are biblical principles that are very, very clear. For example, what's right and wrong. Diba? Thou shalt not steal. So there's no gray area there. Diba? Oh. Having said that, in our daily lives, we keep trying to interpret what's happening, what's our job, what do we do, etc. And I want to talk about that today. First, how do we interpret what is God's will? Second, we'd like to talk about revival, not revolution. And third, the difference between strategy and tactics. Okay? So, having said that, I'd like to thank every single one of you who is here today. I'd like to thank Pastor Gilbert. I'd like to thank Brother Jeremiah, Sister Chona. Napaka-importante that we understand God's will, not only for ourselves, for a community, for the nation. And understanding His will entails understanding His way and His thoughts, which is really, really difficult to understand. And then also, yung identity, di ba? Who we are. The best example I've heard so far, di ba, is yung papasok ng building, tapos ayaw papasukin kasi nakatsinelas, mukhang, let's say, mukhang mekaniko. So, let's say, galing sa garahe, marami pang grasa-grasa. So, paglapit ng security guard na, ang tanong ka agad, saan ka pupunta? Sino ka? Di ba? And when he himself saw that everyone's in a barong and in a suit, ayaw siyang papasukin sa loob at siya mismo parang nahiya. But then when someone whispered to him, "Boss, building ng tatay mo to ha." Siya mismo, umiba. Di ba? Biglang, anong pakialam mo ngayon na may grasa pa ako dito at nakasando lang ako at nakatsinelas? Alam mo ba kaninong building to? Di ba? So that's a simple thing about identity. Many people think we're powerless, yet they believe that we're children of the living God. So I will go back and forth addressing myself to Christians who believe in the Christian faith and to all of us who are God-fearing, God-believing, regardless kung ano ang ating religion, di ba? So regardless kung ano ang ating religion, when we believe that we are made in His nature and in His image, when we believe that we are His ambassadors, when we believe that we are His children, even servant, di ba? You can ask anyone na naging executive assistant ko. Parating isang part of the first lesson yon na sinasabi ko sa kanila, and usually kasi yung nagiging executive assistant are the younger ones, no? I'm not talking about the senior ones or yung head executive assistant, yung mga nag-uumpisa, di ba? Kumbaga sa shooting natin, mga production assistant, di ba? Nakasama parate. Parati ko nililiwanag sa kanila. Uy, meron tayong deputy chief of staff. Uy, meron tayong head ng legal. May head tayo ng ledge. Meron tayong chief of staff, di ba? So sa hierarchy, may chain of command tayo, susunod ka sa kanila. Pero, pag ako nag-utos sa'yo, you are fulfilling that duty based on my authority. Di ba? So, for example, sa mundong to, may mga bilyonaryo, may mga senador, may mga cabinet secretary, sa religious world, may mga bishop, may mga archbishop, may cardinal. Pero pagka sinabi ni Alan, dun sa kanyang pinaka-junior na EA, ako nagsabi nito ha, o sabihin nyo ha, hindi 9 o'clock ang meeting natin today, 8 o'clock. Eh sinabi ng chief of staff, 9 o'clock. Sinabi ng chief ng ledge, 9:30. Sinabi ng chief ng legal, 10 o'clock. O, sino masusunod? In the normal chain of command, ang masusunod, yung pinakamataas na nagsabi. Eh pinakamababa siya sa mga binanggit ko. Pero, tinatawid niya lang yung utos ko. So, ganun din po sa ating paniniwala na ang Diyos ay ang hari at ang Panginoon. No? He is King, He is Lord, He is God. So when He sends out a servant and we are that servant, it's not about titles. It's about sinusunod mo ba yung kanyang kalooban. So why did I talk and start talking about His ways and His thoughts? Okay, because many are thinking now, gumulo ba bigla ang Pilipinas? So yes, they look at the Senate and they say, magulo ba Senate? But remember, dun sa nagsasabing magulo ang Senado at magulo ba ang Pilipinas, ito po yung mga naka-Amerikana at mga naka-barong at nasa loob ng mga air-condition na kwarto na 4-5 beses kumakain sa isang araw na namamahalan man sa gasolina ay kayang mag-airplano, kayang hindi naman yate, but you know, they have cars, they have backup, they have security, etc. Sa ordinaryong Pilipino, Hindi ba gulo yung hindi ka makakain ng 3 beses sa isang araw? Hindi ba gulo yung padadala mo sa ospital at wala kang pambayad, pauwiin ka? O worse, sa takot mo sa gastos, ni hindi mo sasabihin sa magulang mo o sa asawa mo, sa anak mo na may sakit ka. Kasi alam mo na kahit middle class ka, you are one hospitalization away from poverty. So rather than telling yung mga kamag-anak mo na baka may cancer ako, hindi mo na lang sasabihin. Bakit? Kasi mas gusto mo pang maayos buhay nila at makakain sila, walang tumigil sa pag-aaral, kaysa sa alagaan ka. This happens again and again, di ba? Whether you talk about farmers who cannot eat, what an irony, di ba? Sila ang farmers pero hindi sila makakain ng 3 beses sa isang araw, di ba? We produce a lot of things in the Philippines, but we export them. We cannot enjoy it here. They have to export it back to us, and malaki ang tubo doon. Then you look at the stock market, you look at, I'm happy that all of these big companies have billions in profit. But when you look, for example, at your Meralco bill now, and you tell yourself, paano nangyari to? Mas mataas pa to, tumalon, kaso dun sa mga NBA stars sa final. And then you read na record-breaking ang tubo ng Meralco last year or next year, mababasa mo for this year. Again, it's good for a company to be profitable, di ba? But there are questions. What are the congressmen doing? What are the senators doing? What are the cabinet secretaries doing? The same thing, di ba? Sabi nung isang businessman, huwag kayong mag-alala, hindi kami magsasamantala dun sa pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina. But by the time he said that, the oil companies already made, what was the figure? 50 billion pesos in less than a month. Kasi daw, so maraming dahilan. So what's my point, no? My point is that at the very least, we all agree that magulo ang Pilipinas, kailangan ayusin. The question is, how do we approach? So for maybe 3 years, we've taken the corporate style. Di ba? Very gentleman, very ladylike, discussion, ledak, debate, etc. But siguro somewhere in 2025, yung impeachment kay Vice President Sara Duterte, yung pag-export sa ating dating Pangulo, and then yung revelation ng flood control, umiba. Umiba. And everyone keeps saying na, hindi, balik na natin sa dati kasi nga, before the pandemic, Duterte tayo, okay naman tayo. Pag alis naman ni Duterte, okay naman tayo. Nung nag-eleksyon, okay naman tayo. Di ba? But, biggest question muna, do we want to cover up? Do we want to uncover? Okay? So let me go to the topic I told you, but I just wanted to give you the context. How do we know when it's God's will? So my initial answer was so simple. Di ba? First of all, you go to His Word. Di ba? So kung Muslim ka, tignan mo yung Quran. O, Christian ka, tignan mo yung Bible. Bakit? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin God's will, tapos pag binasa mo yung libro, baliktad. Di ba? So kung sasabihin kong, wala akong magagawa, ang ganda-ganda niya eh. Talagang we were meant to be. Oy, ba't kayo hindi magsama? Eh kasi may asawa na ako, may asawa na siya. Paano kayo naging meant to be? Tapos binasa mo yung Bible, do not covet another